Commissioner Davis is out today, so I have the privilege of leading the meeting. I guess, Rick, you have intern elections.
Yes, once again, we are utilizing the summer internship program, and it's been a great success for us, especially with summer camps and everything going on. So here's Kaela Ricket. She's Ohio University, and it's out of the workforce center.
Hi. My name is Kaela Ricket. I'm in Dormsey, and I've been working at the workforce for about a month now, and I'll be doing the rest of summer. I really enjoyed it. I really like working with the workforce. Everybody's been great, and I'm helping out with summer camp. So that's a lot of fun. We have about 5 weeks of summer camp, so it's a great thing with the kids.
Well, she has camp experience, which was awesome when we saw her resume.
Yeah.
Where was it?
The camp abroad in Spain. I was teaching English to a group of 3 to 5 year olds for a local community, but it was a lot more just like babysitting them. But it was amazing, and seeing like help the local community over there, and then now we're here working with another local community. It's just really amazing, and I'm from the Creighton, so it's really cool to be like local here. Yeah.
So welcome, and we're very appreciative of your will to be here.
Thank you.
What are you studying at OU?
I'm studying communications, the dual major in English.
And
Welcome to the team.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
so I guess we have a lesson learned with Brandon today. Brandon, you have a couple folks with you.
Morning, B. Good morning. Thank you for allowing us to be here today. I'm very proud to be here today to talk about our legal help center. It's been going on for a year now. And so first I will turn it over to Michael Gibbons-Camp, managing attorney, and Melissa Linville, the development director, and they will give you the introduction and background on this.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having us today. We can vote. Oh, okay.
Jerry.
Oh, there we go. Great. Yeah, we can just start with some introductions. My name is Melissa Linville, and I'm the development director for Legal Aid in Central Ohio. And
Michael Gibbons-Camp. I've been with the Chillicothe office of Lasco, formerly Souls, for 21 years now. I'm currently the managing attorney, although I'll be changing roles in the next couple months to be a staff attorney and let someone else deal with the bureaucratic headaches. So,
yeah, and I'm an attorney too. I started as a staff attorney in the Columbus office, and then realized I just liked promoting our work out in the world more than the bankruptcy code. So I moved into more of a fundraising role after about 10 years. All right, so we just want to start with like a little bit of legal aid background. I know many people are familiar with us, but this is our mission, and we provide free civil legal help to people, low-income people, seniors, and veterans across our 36 counties service area with 8 offices. So we're kind of like the public defenders, but on the civil side. So our clients don't pay anything for our work, and we prioritize, civil issues like housing and domestic and public benefits and things that people need really to just kind of stabilize their lives going forward. So this is a little bit of history of ours. We officially merged in 2024 with our 2 programs to become the biggest geographic legal aid in the state. But the Legal Aid Society of Columbus was founded in 1954, and Ohio State Legal Services Association was founded in 1966. So we've been around a long time, and that was called Southeastern Ohio Legal Services. So you might have heard of Souls before. Souls was the organization that was serving this, Chillicothe, and the Chillicothe office was serving this Lancaster. We had a Lancaster office at one time too.
so yeah, I was going to say for a little local flavor, for Chillicothe office does cover Fairfield County. It's one of our 6 counties. There was a Lancaster office until 2008. And we do currently have a physical location in the Chase Bank building on Broad Street. So we do have a physical location there to meet with clients. And recently, we have the location in the law library where we are 4 days a week, which is the main thing we are here to talk about today. We do have 5 attorneys currently in the Chillicothe office. We do have 2 open positions, so in an ideal world, we have 7 attorneys covering our 6-county area.
Yeah, if you know any lawyers, just apply to our jobs.
And between the help center and TAP and our regular intake, last year out of the Chillicothe office, we did handle over 1,000 cases for or helped over 1,000 families in one form or another.
We were affiliated in 2008, and actually the Columbus side was kind of floundering. So the Souls OSLSA side kind of during the recession in 2008, we became affiliated, and we've only strengthened, the partnership has only strengthened our capacity to kind of serve more people and streamline some administrative side. 2024, we became one official organization. So all this is new branding, let's go. But that was a big ordeal because we had 2 boards of directors that had to become one. So that was quite a journey. And so here's our different offices, just for a little bit more background. And a legal aid covers every county in the country. So there's legal services provided to every county in the country, not every office. But in Ohio, there's about 5 major legal aids. And we're separate, you know, we do our own fundraising and our own organization, but we also work together too, because we have a lot of shared goals with our friends in Cleveland and our friends, you know, in Akron and Canton, and we touch all these different legal aids in Cincinnati. So these are our offices. Columbus is the biggest office, as you can imagine. And then we have all the rest of the counties split up between these other offices. And if anyone has any questions for us, fire away. But this is kind of our structural background. So we just wanted to include a little bit of information on how we're some of our other funding sources too, because we are not the public defender, so we are not part of the government. So we're a standalone 501c3. So the fundraising gig is big in my world. But we have 2 large funding sources. One is the federal funding through Legal Services Corporation. So we are in the federal budget, each year. And so we're very thankful to receive that stable funding. And then we also receive funding from when an attorney files a filing fee or an attorney gets an IOLTA account, legal aid by statute gets some funding through that. So when the interest rates increase, legal aid funding increases, sort of counter to what other people want in the world. And then we also just have a number of other grants and partnerships like this one throughout our entire service area that fund the other parts. We also have I started this role in 2022, and I've worked really hard to create more partnerships with individuals and corporations, and just increase our donations in general too. It's still a very small part of our pie, but we're working on that one. We've got a lot of potential. There's a lot of lawyers in our service area and a lot of people that care about our work. So, all right, so Mike can talk a little more.
Okay, so since July of last year, or I'm sorry, June of last year, we've been in the law library 4 days a week. We're there every day but Wednesday from 9 to 3. We handle walk-in applications. So probably about half the people I interact with they have a quick question or I can steer them in the right direction. And about half of them are people who I would take an intake for a very brief client relationship with and count them as an official client within our books. We offer a wide range of services. I think we have a slide. Got the rest of our staff here, like myself, and then we have 4 staff attorneys right now. Stephanie Corcoran will be joining our team in next few weeks as our new managing attorney. And we are still hiring for a couple staff attorneys. So again, anyone you know looking for a change of field within the legal community.
And
So
we
come our
did,
way.
yeah, we did post one position in this city located here too, to try and help with some of our clinics at the courthouse. And we try to see if maybe someone wanted to be located physically here, or Chillicothe. So we have both positions posted.
So if I can ask a question. So within a week's period, how many clients would you typically see here in Fairfield County?
So this is a year.
Here in Fairfield County, that's gonna be actually there are 3 different pots that we see clients. We have clients that come into our regular intake, they call us, go through the regular process. Then we have this program. I am usually here about 1 day a week between clients I actually take an intake on and people that I give brief, just a brief redirect or answer a question for. I probably see anywhere from 6 to 10 people a day, if a day that I'm in the clinic. And then we also have TAP, which is at our municipal court, where we handle we're there every eviction day. And so they do evictions Tuesday afternoon at either 1:30 or 2:15. We have an attorney and a couple intake staff present for all of those. And I would say, in a given week, we probably advise anywhere from probably about 10 people about their eviction defenses.
So the work you folks do, I think just,
Thank you.
but I think it's like any other organization. People don't know.
Yes.
I've actually had a conversation with a couple people in year past that were looking for an attorney, and I knew both these families could not afford an attorney. And so I steered them your direction, but I think that's problematic to some regard.
People don't know about us.
Don't know about it.
Yeah. And we try, I will say, our executive director crunched a bunch of numbers, and Fairfield County was our most served county per percent of people in poverty than any other county we covered. And I think it's because of our court-based, clinics where people can come and see us and we can see more people in a more efficient. But yes, so I know people don't know about us, so we appreciate opportunities like this to just kind of connect with a broader audience. We try to send out a monthly newsletter about what we're up to. We do an annual report. So we're trying really hard to share our work, make sure people understand we exist. So we appreciate the any publicity. But yeah, so we were kind of excited to crunch some full year numbers since it just, we just have, for this exact project at the courthouse, have celebrated a year. And so I just think it's such a huge impact because.
So with the staffing you currently have here in Fairfield County, are you able to handle more?
Once we're fully staffed again, we probably could handle a little more than what we're doing right now. Right now, we are on restricted intake because of our staffing being down. And so we are probably doing more in Fairfield than other counties because we do have these clinics that we are able to keep open. But the people who contact us, it's like a doctor's office that's not taking new patients. We're only taking intakes for people with really severe cases right now because of our staffing. But that's one reason why we really like these clinics where we can get people some help, get them a chance to talk to an attorney without needing to go in for a full representation.
So the issue is more in staffing than it is funding?
Funding in order to get staffing as well.
I see.
I'm always fundraising.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, our need always far exceeds our demand.
Because, frankly, right now we do have, when we're fully staffed, we have one attorney per county plus one attorney. We could easily find work for 3 attorneys per county if we had like the money tree fall on us,
Yeah.
but.
Yeah, the percentage of people we're serving is still dramatically under what their needs are. But the exciting part of this project is that often it's tough for our legal aid staff to take a lot of domestic cases. And, divorces, custody, because they're really time consuming. So the exciting part of this partnership is that our intake has, instead of turning away people, they have a place to at least help them walk through the steps, because a lot of people's divorces aren't that complicated. But at the same time, they struggle to walk through the steps that they need to walk through correctly to be successful. So this is an exciting partnership for us, and this is unique. We don't have any other sort of court-based domestic partnership like this. And the big reason we were so in was because of the stable funding, because it's tough to kind of set something up with this amount of time without some strong partnership. So this is great for the family domestic world, because a lot of times, a lot of people do need full representation, but it's just these cases take a long time.
And to highlight what she was saying, I just want to say that a majority of our cases that we handle through this particular clinic are family law. The domestic relations court refers a lot of people to us. We really appreciate so not everyone gets to us initially. And so quite a few people are still coming in, filing their paperwork on their own. And I'm sure Judge Smith could tell you that they aren't always filling it out quite correctly. So we are getting a lot of people who are coming to us for their second chance at getting things to the court correctly. And we really appreciate that partnership. We get a notice of filing deficiency. We can read that for people, help them understand what they need to do, what they need to correct. I think I saw someone here from John Family Services. We have the form, as part of our divorce packet, we have the form to request CSEA services. I can tell you the number of people who bring that to me and they have not filled out a single box because that form is intimidating. And nothing on there is hard. Everything is people know. I'm getting information from them to fill it out. But just having a lawyer there to kind of sit with them and say, okay, this is what this is asking for. These are what these terms mean. It makes it actually accessible for clients in a way that just handing them, here's a stack of forms. The family law especially is where, for anyone who's practiced, the parenting proceeding affidavit, again, one, if they do attempt to fill it out, it's going to be wrong. And two, it's really intimidating just to look at it as a layperson. So that's a big help that we are able to give people because we're here. Because we're here at the time they're going to go file, and the clerk can say, go downstairs. Just go, before you even turn this in, go downstairs, have them look at it, and it makes everybody's life easier. But we do handle courts, the other two floors, courts as well. I did have, yesterday I spent an hour going over somebody's discovery response to them. They were being sued on a credit card debt, fairly substantial debt, and they'd received 20 pages of interrogatories and requests for admissions because the attorney for the debt collector was going to bury them in paperwork. It's a standard practice for our clients. And I was able to go through that line by line with him and explain what each of the terms meant, made sure he didn't admit to anything he didn't mean to admit to. So while the vast majority, as you see, is family law, the other courts are sending us clients. We are getting people that we're able to redirect and help them out in the process.
Then we just wanted to highlight some of the different perspectives.
So from my perspective and from my staff, we are very pleased how this is working. The biggest frustration we had was, the customer comes in and we can just direct them across the hall to the forms. And Judge Smith was very helpful. She provided a checklist that we can give to the people. So that was the first step. Hand them the checklist, highlights, okay, this is the checklist of the forms you need, go across the hallway. All the bins are numbered with the forms, you can choose those forms, fill them out. But that wasn't enough because people still feel like we're just kind of pushing them off. So at least now, even if somebody comes upstairs with the forms filled out, say, hey, have you got an attorney look at this? No, I can't afford an attorney. Well, we have attorneys downstairs on the first floor. Why don't you go downstairs, they'll review it, make sure that you have everything filled out. make sure you have everything there. And then they go back upstairs. Staff members are much happier also because they feel like they're actually giving the person something rather than just kind of saying, oh yeah, we can't give you legal advice. So I think the people do seem like they're much happier. You know, people really aren't happy coming to our building most of the time anyway. But I just think I'm just very pleased how this partnership is working, and I'll turn it over to Judge Smith now. She'll share her comments as well.
Good morning. I must say that I'm not really very surprised to see family law have such a big percentage of the cases that are served under this program. Domestic Relations Court is very thankful for this service model and very thankful that the legal aid attorneys are here in the mornings. I'm going to speak in a moment the benefits that my staff feels from having the service available, but also I think it's really important from a county service perspective to think about the access to justice that this program provides to low-income people across the county. Many counties, as you've heard her say, don't have access to legal services. And, you know, the forms are confusing, and some of the forms that she listed, I can't even hold a hearing until the forms are completed correctly. And, you know, years ago, I started using the notice of filing deficiency forms that I've created based on the standard Supreme Court forms were being filed and not filled out correctly. And I can't give these people legal advice, but I have a document and I mark the box every time that says consultation with an attorney is recommended. And I'll even write for both parties, you know, in dissolution actions. There are occasions that an attorney will get that form from me if they haven't completed a form correctly. But once legal aid was here, and you know, if people filed a form, the domestic forms, whether it's for a dissolution or a custody action or a divorce case, and they haven't filled out something correctly or haven't asked for service, I complete the form, we send it back to the party, and then if they're legal aid qualified, my office has completed sort of a brochure letting them know when the legal aid hours are, and that goes in the same envelope. They can take their forms, they can take my filing deficiency notice, they know when to go to the courthouse law library and see the legal aid attorneys, and you know what? Second time they file their documents, they're right now. In the past, I would have cases where they might get 4 filing deficiencies before we can even begin the case till they get their papers completed correctly. So, you know, again, it provides access to justice because I can't hold a hearing until service happens, or I can't even have a custody hearing if the parenting proceeding affidavit isn't completed. And after so many attempts of not doing it and time passing, their matter's dismissed. They don't even get in front of the courthouse. So from a client service perspective and a low-income resident perspective, I think it's really, really valuable and important service that Fairfield County provides. My staff is thankful. You know, as I mentioned, the delay in getting the forms filled out causes a delay in us resolving a case, which makes us behind on our Supreme Court guidelines report to the Supreme Court. So we're thankful that our cases move more quickly with them here. We're also thankful, as Brandon mentioned, my staff too would be inundated with questions from parties that don't know how to fill out this form, and we're not under law allowed to give any legal advice to parties either, my staff. So now they can say, the legal aid attorneys are here Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, downstairs, 9 to 3. Go down there and see them. They can help you with this. So it just makes everything run so much smoother, and you really feel that parties have a better understanding, and not only is it form creation, but I believe that they also can have some conversations with the parties about what trial looks like, you know, what you should bring, who should come to, you know, what to expect on those days. It's just a really good program all the way around, and I'm very thankful for the funds that have been made available to have this happen.
If I can ask one question regarding, obviously, income qualifications for this. Well, what are those? I know what the definition of.
Legal aid, we roughly prioritize people under 200% of the poverty line.
So I can see a situation where, say, a divorce is going on, where one of the spouses would have an issue with having available cash and all that. So how would you handle something like that?
I'm not understanding your question.
Someone, a spouse, say they were going through a divorce, would not have available cash just because of the domestic situation, if you know what I'm saying. And although they would not qualify as,
Coming up.
low income, but would be in a situation.
Right. Well, we do have information available in the Legal Help Center too, and we can give people, packets and information without giving them, our eligibility requirements are more about representing them or giving them more in-depth advice. So everyone could pick up some forms and information no matter what their income was.
Just having a roadmap, if you will, would be very helpful, yes.
And I think, attorneys are expensive, yes, generally, but attorneys have very, very hourly rates that they charge. So there's some attorneys are quite a bit more expensive than others. And when we work with these attorneys over time, we know, who are the ones that might better serve a party like you're speaking about too. And I think legal aid makes some recommendations of at least call around to some different offices.
And I was going to say, almost no one comes into our clinic that doesn't walk out with something. So if somebody comes in I get a lot of contractors that come in, because they are people who maybe they're earning six figures, but like you said, they don't feel like they have money right now. They don't feel like they can afford an attorney right now, or they just feel confident they can handle it on their own and save some money. I can still get them the proper forms. I can still get them. I can answer questions like what goes on this page, because that's not legal advice in the same way. So I am restricted in terms of giving legal advice to people who are financially eligible. The other group that would fall into that category, though, are our senior citizens. Anybody who's over 60, I can ignore income in terms of providing assistance. So I often say at these presentations, if any of you have parents that need a will done, send them to us because we can do that for free. Anything that anyone over 60 needs, the income guidelines don't apply to them. We also I was gonna say, we also have some special funding for veterans. Is our third category where we can make exceptions outside the funding.
Okay, very good.
Thank you. You're welcome. And so, from legal aid's perspective, this has worked really wonderfully because it's a very efficient service delivery. It is taking up time. Our attorneys are coming here, but they're busy. They're serving a lot of people in one day. And so if those people kind of called our intake and then we called them back and they didn't answer, and then maybe they answered the third time and then we weren't going to represent them, so we sent them some for this is just much more efficient because someone's coming to the place where they're going to file the forms and they're going to do it correctly with this help. And so we just appreciate this model where many of these people would likely be turned away if they even made it to our office because just of our capacity to help with domestic issues. Our domestic teams primarily across our service area prioritize victims of domestic violence for their domestic cases. So basically, I just think this is a really great service delivery model in terms of the outcomes for the clients and for our attorneys' time and energy. And as I mentioned, we're at the whims of the interest rates and the whims of the federal government's budget so much, month to month. So just having some stable other partners makes a huge difference for us to kind of plan and prioritize and keep this carved out from a legal aid perspective.
The other thing I'll say to that too, as someone providing direct services, it's a huge opportunity for me to notice trends in the community. I've learned things about, some neighborhoods in town that have helped me be able to provide better services. I've gotten better connections with local community partners because of being physically here in the county. Me personally 1 day a week and then my office 4 days a week. But also like Melissa said, when somebody calls us and they want to help with the divorce, the first question we're going to ask them is, are they a victim of domestic violence? And if they're not, then it's very unlikely they're going to get to an attorney through our regular intake process. But when I sit down with clients in Fairfield and they're telling, and I'm helping them with their divorce might not be something that's going to be within priorities for us to represent it. The number of times that these have become clients for other things is also astounding. Because the main thing that they called us about was divorce. That's what they cared about today. But lo and behold, they also have a conditions problem with their rental house, or they have a debt that they're being harassed on that I can get the debt collector to give them some slack on. There are ways that I can help them that they would never have thought to call me about. So we're actually identifying a lot of people's problems just by having that time to actually sit and talk to them rather than putting them through our screening.
Got some quotes. We've been featuring this everywhere we can, this partnership, and so it was in our last newsletter, little shout out in our annual report. So this was just an example of someone that my office served. And so, yeah, I mean, we're really excited about this. We appreciate the opportunity to share it, and we appreciate the partnership. So if you have any questions, Brandon's very kindly invited us to take this on the road to the other clerk of courts to kind of try and share, because we have 36 counties. So we're open to more partnerships in other places. So we're gonna present in July, which I'm excited about too, to kind of take it on the road.
Commissioner Fix, you have any questions?
No, I appreciate what you guys do. I really had no idea that was that broad, of a need, and grateful that you guys are here to help folks who otherwise would not be well served. So thank you, and thank you, Brandon, for your diligent efforts on this.
So I do have one question. I understand what you said about interest rates when they're higher, you have more funding. How does that work?
How does that work? So legal aids across the state get funding based on attorney interest IOLTA accounts. So when private attorneys get retainers and they put it in their bank account, the interest goes to legal aid.
I see. Okay, I got you.
Yeah, so we're in on that statute. So 2008 was a really horrible time for legal aid funding. So we lost like a good 40% of our staff in that time. Had to close a few offices. So, but we're back. To pre those dates of staffing.
Treasurer Bonds back here knows all about that.
Yes.
How that works.
Yeah, we also get a percentage of the filing fees of all things filed. So, and then that's kind of distributed across the state based on percentage of poverty rates. So like how many people live in poverty in our different service areas.
It would be good if you had a more stable process, quite frankly.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
I mean,
that's
it's great, it's great right now, but it's not always gonna be great.
No, and I will say, the last year, the president's budget cut us entirely, and then the House gave half of the money, and then the Senate built it. So anyways, we got our full funding for 2025, but it was sort of a roller coaster. And this year, again, it's a roller coaster again. So we've been trying to share our work to our federal legislators and our state legislators, and we had a great DC visit day with our senators and House staff out there, and they were super receptive to learn more about legal aid and how we're helping their constituents. So we're trying to share the value out in the world. But yes, I am trying very hard to build up the rest of that pie that is not totally dependent on those two things that I have very little control over. But yes, stability.
Well, wanted to give Melissa some credit that she won't necessarily give herself. When I started in 2005, all of our funding was, like you said, subject to the whims of politics, subject to the whims of interest rates. We've come a long way in working on building grants through local governments, local corporations. And Melissa gets a lot of that credit for having developed that work. So.
Try not.
Very much, and Brandon, obviously, he talks about you guys a lot, so he's a big fan of yours.
I know, this is the first time meeting in real life. I can't believe it.
It's been virtual until
We've talked for a long time.
As well as Judge Smith back here, I'm sure she's very appreciative of your work.
Thank you
Such a
both.
valuable partnership.
So, if you'd like, you don't necessarily have to stay for the rest of the meeting, and you won't offend us one little bit if you want to leave, because you probably have clients to see.
But you have to take a cookie. Dave will tell you.
Thank you so much for having us. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you, Judge Samantha.
So, now is time for public comment. If you wish to do so, please approach the podium, give your name and address, and you're limited to 3 minutes.
Right?
Morning. As I said last week, the older I get, the more I find out that I don't know. And that's probably, life was a whole lot simpler when I was young than what it is today. And society has come a long way, but as I look at it in my life, it was a whole lot simpler then and when I started growing up than what it is today. So with that thought in mind, we need to look at a higher source for direction and guidance to all that we have going on in this world today. So with that thought, I want to pray for the leaders of this county, the leaders of this state, and the leaders of this country. They need our prayers. And we need guidance locally here to take care of the people now that, and Lord, we look to you for that guidance, direction for all of us. Help us, Lord, to walk through this world with you so that we can be a better person to those around us. And we pray this in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Thank you, Ray. Anyone else like to make comment? Thank you all for coming. County administration update on it.
All right, thank you, Commissioner. We're going to start off by a little bit more coverage of the Workforce Signing Day. This is a video compilation of the speakers that we had, and this does include the comments at Claypool that I had referenced last week. I think Bennett's gonna, Bennett or Ash, bringing that online.
This is about thanking you for taking a chance and going out there and, quite frankly, growing up faster. While everyone has been directed toward college and a mountain of student debt, you quietly walk towards the jobs that actually keep the lights on, the water clean, the air cold, and the beat wild. The best job crowd is nervous about AI replacing it. You picked careers that require a human being to show up, think on your feet, and fix something that actually matters. It's not a job that disappears. It's a job that gets more valuable every year.
Your hard work, dedication, perseverance has brought you to this moment. The certificates you have earned represent a valuable skill, determination, and commitment to excellence. Your
Thank you, Bennett. So just another cool, this was a compilation of some of the speakers. Again, just very excited of everything that's happening at the Workforce Center. One additional piece, we did receive funding for additional components of the Workforce Center and the state capital budget. So very excited about that. Wasn't quite at the level we were asking for, so we'll need to, Rick is gone, I was looking that direction. Need to circle back and see how we approach that, but thankful for all of our state legislators advocating and getting that across the finish line for us.
If I could just add one little bit to that. Talking earlier to the state legislators, they were very limited on the amount of funding per county that they expected. So, although what we got was what we wanted, it's a pretty big deal to give that amount of funding.
Yes, so thank you, and thank you to the commissioners for making sure to communicate and share that need. Let's pause on the other video. Let me share a little story first, and then we'll do the other video. So this is, we're celebrating, it's weird to say celebrating, but Elder Abuse Awareness Month, calling attention to that. And Corey had shared with me a story from the Adult Protective Services team. And it just really touched me, and I thought that I would share that with you all. And then we'll do a brief video that's going to highlight the bank partnership with the scam prevention program that APS has begun. And this really highlights the amazing employees that we have in our county and the steps that they go to be great people and to serve the people that need their help the most. And I'm already struggling, and I haven't started with the story, so bear with me. This was shared by Heather Stoneburner, one of the employees at JFS.
Can you read it?
Yep. And then see if you cry. With Margaret's story.
Margaret's story is one that I recently became aware of. Margaret was someone who our agency came in contact with a number of years ago. Through the years, a manila envelope filled with papers, an ID, cable bill, etc. of Margaret's had been maintained. When our very own Kate Varga retired, she passed along the envelope, its content, and the story of Margaret to Heather Stoneburner and her team. Margaret lost her son in the Vietnam War, and later endured the loss of her husband. In Margaret's envelope, there was even a card asking for someone to contact a local funeral home if she died, which of course happened. Margaret passed away a number of years ago. However, the envelope and her story remained here in our office. Upon receiving the information and trying to decide what to do, Heather, Rachel, Tracy, Kaela, and Nicole came up with a plan. As a part of her story, it was discovered that Margaret never had a marker placed on her grave. As a temporary solution, Heather and her team initially brought a couple of crosses, put Margaret's name, date of birth, date of death on them, and then went to the cemetery to locate her resting place. This is long. Sure enough, the spot where Margaret was laid to rest was void of a marker or anything identifying who she was or that she existed. The crosses were placed, and the second half of the team's plan was also unfolding. A marker was purchased by the team to be placed at the gravesite. With all the difficult, unkind, and sometimes ugly things that we are faced with on a daily basis, this type of response to learning of Margaret's story is what sets the folks in the agency apart from others. The team did not do what they did for recognition or praise. This is something they quietly did on their own to honor the life of someone they never met, yet in death deserve to be remembered and recognized. It is the selflessness, caring, and compassion demonstrated through acts like this that make me so proud of this team. Heather, Rachel, Tracy, Kaela, and Nicole, thank you. We see you and we recognize the many wonderful things you do. This is absolutely amazing. Thank you.
So there was a picture attached to it that shared the grave marker that they did purchase and have placed there. So thank you for sharing. Thank you for reading. It was a little bit long, but I think it was worth.
So you may have done that without recognition, but we all know about it right now. So this is what makes our county great.
So let's segue, and we've been working to try to promote some different adult protective services efforts and share that education. Scammers are really attacking that particular population. You have this video that was created with trial as well as interface video regarding that particular program.
Across our community, local banks are seeing a troubling increase. Older adults coming in to withdraw large amounts of money, often under pressure, often afraid. In many cases, these withdrawals are not emergencies. They're scams, and they can leave lasting emotional and financial harm. Recognizing this growing concern, one local bank reached out to Fairfield County Adult Protective Services to form a partnership focused on education, awareness, and rapid response. That partnership helped stop a scam in progress and protected a woman named Marcia.
75-year-old Marcia Thomas received a phone call from a man identifying himself as Mr. Cole. He claimed to be from Publishers Clearinghouse and told Marcia she had won a substantial amount of money. To release her winnings, he said she needed to purchase a $500 gift card and provide him with the card information. After Marcia complied, Mr. Cole demanded more. He told her she needed to buy another gift card, this time using her savings. He promised that once the payment was made, he would call her back and count out $100,000 over the phone. Marcia explained that withdrawing that money would leave her account nearly empty. That's when the pressure intensified. Mr. Cole became demanding and controlling. He instructed Marcia not to tell the bank why she needed the money. Frightened and confused, Marcia went to the bank. Marcia's bank was involved in the partnership with Adult Protective Services. When her phone rang, the bank representative noticed Marcia's demeanor change. She began shaking. She spoke quietly. The voice on the phone demanded she hurry and leave the bank immediately. The bank representative asked Marcia if she was being threatened. Marcia disclosed everything and said she was scared. The bank manager asked Marcia to stay a few more minutes and contacted Adult Protective Services. An Adult Protective Services caseworker arrived within minutes. Marcia's phone rang again. This time, the caseworker answered the call. A woman claiming to be Andrea Cole said the money was for Marcia's bills and claimed to be her landlord. When questioned, the caller became evasive and hung up. A man called again, demanding to speak with Marcia. The caseworker identified himself and informed the caller that law enforcement would be notified. The phone did not ring again.
The caseworker immediately contacted the store where Marcia had purchased the gift card. The card was voided and her money was returned. He helped Marcia change her phone number, coordinated with law enforcement, ensured her locks were changed, and installed door alarms so she could feel safe again. It has been more than 6 months. Marcia has not received another scam call. This is the power of partnership. When banks and Adult Protective Services work together, older adults are protected, dignity is preserved, and lives are changed.
All right. Thanks.
So, you know, this is part of the awareness that people need to know, because many people in our society and sometimes family members aren't even aware of what's going on. And in this month, 29th, we actually have a big conference at the Fossa Center. I think some of you folks will be there. Elder Abuse Awareness Conference, and I'm the chairman of the Elder Abuse Commission for the state, and the new Attorney General's there, which I have not met. I'll be introducing him, but so that'll be interesting. But there's a couple bills going through the House. I don't know where they're at right now, but one deals with the cooperation that banks need to give APS, and the other has to do with kiosks. They've shown that the kiosks that deal with Bitcoins are about 95% of the time being used for fraud. Many times it's being used in elder abuse or scamming, if you will. And the reason that's happening is because they can't be traced. And so there's part of that bill is to deal with that. Well, what they're going to do is put a limit on dollar amount. I wish they'd just outlaw, period. But it was kind of a compromise just to put a limit dollar amount on what can be utilized in those kiosks. And of course, the banks, I think the banks is a big deal. Because many times, and you talk to some of these bankers, and of course, they have to deal with the privacy issue. But many times, bankers know that there's a problem and they're unable to do or even aware that they can do anything about that. So I think those two things could be very effective in the future. So, all right, thank you.
Yeah, thanks. I'll wrap it up here so we can move along. There are, the review packet does contain a list of administrative approvals, and there's 25 resolutions on the agenda for the regular voting meeting. We do have a resolution prohibiting the Village of Baltimore from using the Fairfield County Jail. We've been talking about this particular action for a while. Stephen has been helpful with that. Stephen, just a question on that today, assuming that will pass. What is the next action that we would take?
The completed resolution must be sent to the Village of Baltimore's council for them to recognize it. They then have 90 days, or they need to let you know whether or not they intend to proceed building a jail within the Village of Baltimore, whereupon they have 90 days to complete that. Make sure that you can keep them from admitting prisoners to the jail.
So their best option would be to give it to the sheriff and have a contract with them as.
Sheriff, you want to add anything?
I think it's a good first step. This situation. Finishing a judicial process and carrying. Session. Step. Operation.
Has anyone talked to the Village of Baltimore to let them know this is coming?
Would it be helpful if we could do that?
I certainly think if the commissioners wish to reach out,
Yeah.
that would make sense.
Okay, please.
Yeah,
will
Jeff
send it.
Bicko, yeah, we'll get it. And it would be better coming from him before they get the letter from us.
And Sheriff, if there are other ones for us to examine, this was the one with consultation with the prosecutor's office that was charging outside of the Ohio Revised Code that we were specifically responding to, but please let me know if there's others that we should be addressing, and we can do that on a resolution by resolution basis. All right, there are two resolutions regarding board appointments. One is to appoint Lori Sanders to serve the remainder of the unexpired term of Jeff Beard on the Visitors and Convention Bureau Board, and then also reappointments for Cindy Little and Christina Marsteller to the Adam H. Board. We also have a resolution from the Clerk of Courts Title Division declaring a surplus of $150,000 and transferring those funds to the general fund. Brandon, want to comment on that?
Nope, I know the title money loses its identity when it gets transferred to the general fund, but this is a helpful way of supporting the legal clinic. So.
Thanks, Pete.
Thank you very much. We have a resolution from Economic Development approving a sub-grant agreement with the Fairfield 33 Alliance to provide funds for pre-apprenticeship training through a grant from the Ohio Department of Development. Anthony, you want to add anything there?
Yeah, this is just to help fund our career navigators. We have a workforce center that go out and help recruit kids into the programs we have at the workforce center.
And then end in signing day.
Yeah.
The engineer has a few resolutions: the approval of a plat for Victory Commons, the approval of a contract with Pavement Maintenance Systems for the 26 microsurfacing project, and a notice to commence for the 26 microsurfacing project. Jeremiah, do you want to add anything?
Just our normal paving, and then the plat is the city of Lancaster is dedicating some right of way to the county for along Election House Road, which will likely be needed in the future, the way things are looking out there.
Okay, all right, thank you. Facilities has a resolution to approve a change order to the contract with Spires Paving for the Liberty Center project.
It's small surprise the base in that wasn't exactly current standard, so a lot of those areas were solved. We wouldn't know until we got there, but we're still under budget overall because.
Okay, perfect. 2 resolutions from JFS regarding amendments to previously approved network placement and related services agreements. And then lastly, a resolution from utilities authorizing the purchase of a vac truck. Anything you want to add there?
Brings the county into a new realm. Back truck for hydro excavation. Any culverts, sewers, so. And capability, it's a contracting.
I don't know how you ever got by without one, quite frankly.
Thank you.
If you want to have one instance that you don't. $1 piece of equipment get broken.
Yeah, no kidding.
Try to have the right operator.
Thank you very much, Tony. Budget review, Bart.
The 2027 budget, news departments, is coming to an end here soon. All right, and level 2 budget entry access ends June 22nd as we move towards the level 3 budget entry access, which will end on August 27th. That's it.
All right, well, thank you to you and Stacy and Taylor for your work on that. Bennett or Ash is doing calendar review.
That'll be me.
Okay.
Under calendar review and invitations received, the Fairfield County Veterans Hall of Fame meeting will be today after the Commissioners meeting. The Millersport Business Group meeting will be Wednesday, June 17th at 8:30 a.m. at the American Legion in Millersport. And the CFLP public hearing will be Wednesday, June 17th at 12:30 p.m. in the Commissioners hearing room. Under correspondence, the Fairfield County Municipal Court sent their Criminal Traffic Division May 2026 fees report and a letter from a resident regarding the Vantage Data Center. That's it.
Thank you very much, Bennett. That's all, Commissioner.
So, update from elected officials. Start with Brandon.
Nothing else.
So I got something for Brandon. Last Friday afternoon, I had to get a license plate done and went to the BMV at Fairfield Center. It's packed, but they were moving quickly and I got in and out in, I think, less than 20 minutes. And I just thought about how convenient it is to have, that center there, and wanted to thank Brandon, Monty, and Carrie for their leadership and making that facility available to us up in Pickerington. So thanks, Pete. All I got.
Jim's ready to jump in.
Yeah, go for it. Treasurer Bunsen.
We're in the process of getting ready for the second half collection, working in coordination with the auditor's office, implementation of House Bill 186. So, and this is as usual, getting ready for second half.
Lisa, anything going on?
I attended the Higher Recorder's Conference last week, led a breakout session based on population. It was really an interesting group to be able to sit with my peers that are in the same population category that we are. We talked a lot about staffing and a lot about technology. And so I got some great information and some great ideas from that. Just want to touch briefly on the legal aid portion that we had this morning. We have had the opportunity to send a few folks over that direction from time to time when they feel that they don't have the funds to be able to seek legal counsel or a title agency to help them prepare a document. The forms can be provided through legal aid for them to be able to do that. So that's been very helpful. We appreciate that. And we are going to be releasing all of our documents back to 1980 next week on Friday at 10 o'clock. There will be an online training session if anyone's interested, or they have staff members that they would like to get signed up for that training session on how to do that research. It is going to be a little different than our normal online research. We will have that available. If you just touch base with our office, we can get the link out for anyone who wants to take that training session on Friday, the 26th at 10 o'clock. That's all I have.
Jeremiah.
Just one thing, would you kindly let Commissioner Davis know I was 15 minutes early?
We will. So one, Canal Road, that bridge or big culvert or whatever, you're doing that in-house, right? So what is the limitation on the horse account where you're able to do that work yourself?
So, what was it, 3-4 years ago, whenever it was, they changed it. It started at 200,000 and it's had a small, index attached to it. So it's somewhere, I want to say around 220 is what our force account limit is now before we have to go out to competitive bidding. So that really helped us tremendously.
It's just nice to see if you're doing that work yourself.
Yeah.
There's a big cost savings there.
Just a reminder to everybody, the previous force account limit was $100,000 and that was set in 2003. So it went for, right at 20 years or 21 years, without being changed. So you can imagine in that amount of time, the amount of inflation, what we could build in 2003 with $100,000. We were getting down to where it was hard to just put small pipes in the ground, let alone being able to do our, bigger culverts and things like that. All of our big bridges, that kind of stuff, we still bid out. We do a lot of maintenance with the construction's bid. It fits for us with the size of work that we can handle.
233 is the bridge and culverts.
Thank you.
Dr. Brandon.
Good morning. I'd like to also thank Legal Aid. Michael came to one of our all-team meetings and provided an in-service in April. And from that, there were several referrals made for wills and probate, which I realize are not the large numbers that they're seeing, but they were very important to those individuals. The recommendations came from Homestead, senior citizens, and invariably, those folks come back and say how appreciative they are. One elderly lady was so appreciative and overwhelmed, full of emotion about having help with her will, and just really appreciate the ability to make those kinds of referrals that are valuable and educated referrals. So if you haven't had Michael or another come to do an in-service, it's well worth your time. You're able to really, coordinate that with how it will work for you in the front lines. We are celebrating today the completion of the annual comprehensive financial report as well as the popular annual financial report. The ACFR, the annual financial report, is a very lengthy financial statement that is required for bond ratings. It is also under the provisions of the Government Accounting Standards Board and the Government Finance Officers Association. The only thing we're waiting on is the opinion letter from the auditors. Now comes then on its heels, the popular annual financial report, which is very small and is a summary, and it's one that's a little more digestible in terms of being able to consume that large amount of information. So we're very happy to have those completed ahead of time, and you'll see the formal copies coming your way. We have in place the Budget Commission policy relating to what is considered excessive and what is considered rates that might be not needed. So those terms are used very specifically. Commissioner Levesey, you had the question about this earlier. The Budget Commission would not be anticipating to change rates unless there isn't a demonstration that those rates are both needed and not excessive. And it's upon the political subdivisions to provide their budgets, provide their narratives and the details about that for the Budget Commission. And we're doing outreach right now to help explain the policy and explain that legislation. Employee access within Tyler is going to be rolled out within the next couple of weeks. It's a very good program with some very good graphics. No one has to do anything, but I will say that the training relating to that went very well these past couple of days. Jim mentioned some legislation about House Bill 186 about property tax reform. There's a whole bunch of other aspects of reform that we're working on now. We're right on track for the second half tax bills. Want to also mention that there are many other cleanup activities that we are conducting based upon legislation that was passed prior to the recess. Some of that was a surprise, one related to weights and measures, about authority, about pricing, and another one that was a bit of a surprise, but a welcome one related to the confidentiality of economic development information. So the Tax Incentive Review Council meeting that will be held today, and also the ones in the next several of days, will still include executive sessions next year, and they will revert back to the open sessions based upon how that legislation has come about. Finally, I'll just mention that we received several thank yous from Ohio University, various mentees, and one that was a bit of a surprise from a vendor who reached out and was very happy because of the turnaround time in which they received their vendor payments, their payments for service, and these particular payments related to counseling services. But he went on to explain about how in other counties where they do provide service, this particular vendor, they are always waiting on their funds and they don't have a regular ability to count on them. And was mentioning how Fairfield County has helped bridge their gap because of the level of service that's provided and the quick turnaround that they receive. So I mentioned that because there are many hands that go into that particular kind of process, from AP, accounts payable, all the way through the departments. I just want to say thank you for that adherence to our internal control procedures, because it makes a difference, people who are receiving the funds.
Thank you, Doug. Stephen, anything else?
Briefly, and piggyback on what Auditor Brown mentioned, there is a revision proposed and currently sitting on Governor DeWine's desk for RC 9.66. That's the information regarding economic development assistance. Instead of all information going into a black hole and criminal liability attaching should it be released by the public entity for a public records request, they have narrowed that only to payroll information and individualized compensation that is submitted for that economic development assistance. So if Governor DeWine does sign that portion of the bill, that would go into effect in 90 days after it's been signed.
Yeah, that could be a positive and negative connotations. So we'll see. Tony? Rick, you look so different.
Yeah. Sorry, I look worse, I guess. So for economic development, it was mentioned, we have our summer camps going on for middle school students. Those were starting last week. We had our first 2 camps, 70 kids altogether, about middle school kids. We had our healthcare heroes camp and our robotics camp. And then we had representatives from Ohio Health and Magna actually there to present to the students and the kids, kind of showing some of the careers that you can get into. And parents had a lot of questions, so they were really into it, as well as the students. Students built little robot cars and things, and they were driving those around. It was pretty cool. We also had at the Workforce Center yesterday. They were doing a tour of local workforce centers, and we were the first stop on their tour. We're going to be we're going to be helping them really model their training. Workforce training. So we're going to be working with Andrew to hopefully get with them. We've also been meeting with Vantage Data Center and talking about potential training programs we can do in the data center space.
As you were talking, the first thing came to my mind.
Yes, we've met with representatives from their companies, Rick and I, a few times over the past few weeks to discuss potential trainings and investments they could be making in the workforce center.
So with Andrew, where do you think that's going? Andrew.
Where do you think it's going?
Some type of robotics trainings, things like that, probably piggybacking off of some of the trainings we already do have and offer.
I was thinking more drones, not a drone training.
Well, Andrew's not the ones flying. They're the ones driving.
Yeah, so some construction as well, but also once they're built, they're looking for workforce as well, you know.
I understand, sure.
So Anthony, I know this isn't a fair question, but I'm wondering if either of you could give some general idea of the geographic dispersion of the kids who are attending these camps. Is it all over the county? Is it Lancaster centric?
I believe we have kids from every school district, I believe. Kaela, are you?
Yeah, I can answer that question. I go through all registration, and we have about 110 kids overall enrolled in different camps. Last week we had 70 of them. Some of them are reoccurring. But I would say pretty severe distribution between Lancaster, Imperial schools, Burn Union, Fisher Catholic, Pickerington. So we have, I would say, at least one student from each school district that we serve in Fairfield County.
Thank you. That's great. I mean, that's, yeah.
And also for our signing day graduation, every school district was represented there as well. Yeah, over 100 kids, that graduated this year. There was someone from every school district.
It's great. Thanks, Amy. John, anything?
Just a note, Friday, while everyone is, recognizing the day off, there'll be a couple buildings where we will be doing work. So we'll impact some services. If you're coming in on your day off, we may be here with the JFS, love to see, just to be aware.
Thank you for showing the video and sharing the story, and also thank you everybody who came to last week's event for our news awareness. Had a breakfast last week. See, with some remarks. Deanna Tobin gave a presentation from Meals on Wheels, which was well received, and Kate Barger, our longtime supervisor of the APST, won the partner award. So, some great event.
Art, anything?
Nothing additional, sir.
Jeff?
Had the opportunity to attend the Ohio Public Employer Labor Relations Association Summer Education Session last Thursday at the Levacy Center. Brings together public employers and those practicing in labor relations and HR together. Great training, helped organized by our county administrator. We had a lot of representatives from county offices there. I would just encourage our folks, if you have people who are working in certain areas, leave management, helping folks with in your office, that's a great opportunity. I believe Auditor Brown had Rachel Elsey there, so that was great. Also, we have just completed an employee survey regarding benefits and overall satisfaction here working at the county. Have that information in hand, and we'll be using that as we begin the renewal process for insurance, which starts tomorrow. So we will be starting that process and moving forward with that information from everybody. So we thank you. Still time to get that information in if folks have not done so. Thank you.
Good. In the back, Sheriff Lape. Ben? Stacy, anything you'd like to know? Nikki, anything?
Yeah, so I wanted to congratulate Wolf Family Farms. We were notified that, the Ohio Conservation Farm Family Award will be given to them for Area 5 this year. So there are 5 areas amongst soil and water conservation districts. So our area is where from Delaware County kind of trees out to the southern portion of the state, 17 counties. They will be presented the award on day 3 of the Farm Science Review, which is September 24th. It's an award provided from ODA, the Ohio Department of Agriculture, in partnership with the Ohio Farmer Magazine, Ohio Farm Bureau, and the Ohio Federation of Water Conservation Districts. Mike does a great job of doing practices to benefit soil health and water quality on his own farms and rented farms. He's a former board member of ours, so we're very proud of him and those accomplishments.
Judge Smith.
Just a few things. I will add, the Supreme Court has recently required counties across the state, courts across the state to draft compliance plan for compliance with reporting of fingerprints, protection orders to BCI. I am very proud and happy to be working in Fairfield County, where we have had several meetings with judges, court administrators, the clerk staff, prosecutors, and I'm talking city and county level, sheriff's department, and we meet together and have done so several times to come up with a county-wide compliance plan rather than an individual court compliance plan. So I'm, again, very thankful for the cooperation and communication that we are able to do here. And, from what I hear across the state, our level of communication cooperation is, frankly unheard of and something we should all be very thankful for. I'm proud of our efforts in that regard. I will state, I just returned from last week. I attended the probate, juvenile, domestic relations judges conference in Sandusky, Ohio, which took place over 4 days and learn a lot of information. I am in the process right now of writing a federal grant with Mandy Chris for the Visitation Center for continued funding or additional funding for that Visitation Center, which serves an important role in our county as well. I do serve as the chair of the Supreme Court of Ohio's Commission on Rules and Practice Procedure, and last year's rules will become effective on July 1, provided that the state legislature doesn't take any action on those between now and July 1. I don't expect there to be any action. There's nothing terribly controversial in those. But I will be sending out a message to the attorneys once that takes place, so they have good ideas to be aware of the rule changes that have taken place. We have begun working on the rules for this next rule cycle. There's not a lot at issue. I'll just throw out there, one of the issues that the Traffic Rules Committee is working on is a modified MUT, which is the Modified Uniform Traffic Ticket. So that might be looking a little different in the future. That's what's going on with me at this time.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you. Anybody else? How about Heather? How about she has something she'd like to talk about?
So though she won't talk about it, I was wondering, since we read that note, is there an appropriate way to recognize? I mean, I know they're not looking for it, but it's a pretty cool thing to do, and to not find a bigger way to say thank you to those people who went above and
We can
beyond.
do a proclamation.
Whatever, yeah, I mean, I'm asking Corey and Anya to kind of put their heads together and come up with a not over the top, but it's more than just reading a note here. That is a great example of who we are as a county government, and I think that should be recognized in some way.
I agree.
And they definitely, they didn't bring it to our attention, but kind of stumbled across the thing, that we go with that. So it was, but I agree with you, it's kind of sure how to go about recognizing different public.
Yeah.
But if we do that, we'll require speech.
And it wasn't Heather that wrote, it's a different Heather that wrote the story.
Okay, I see.
Yes.
Okay. But it's out.
You can still make a speech, Heather.
I see.
Josh, you got anything?
Right, Commissioner Fix, old business.
No, not today. We're running late.
That's all right. That's okay.
It's okay for you.
Yeah, so yesterday, normally I don't do that. But yesterday I had the privilege of being at the Rotary. It was cool. First time I've ever attended a meeting like that. Thanks for the invitation. Talking about Veterans Hall of Fame. And a couple of people had some good questions regarding that. They didn't know. They didn't know about our great veterans here in Fairfield County and some of the accomplishments. So, it's nice. New business.
No, sir. Thank you.
Only new business I have today is my wife's birthday. She's 80 years old.
I'm sure she appreciates you telling her.
She doesn't. She absolutely does not bother me.
Did you bake the cake?
But I will. I haven't yet, but I will.
He has an easy bake oven.
Take over cookie duty for today?
That is not one thing I'm good at. I can make peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. That's not the extent of it.
I bet she'd appreciate that.
So if you're able, please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Any announcements today?
Yes, Commissioner, I would just say that county offices will be closed this Friday, June 19th, in observance of Juneteenth. And that is all.
Approval of minutes for June 9th, 2026.
So moved.
Second. Discussion. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Fix?
Yes.
Commissioner Levesey?
Yes.
Minutes passed 2-0. From the Commissioners, Resolution 2026-06.16.a, a resolution to prohibit the Village of Baltimore from using the Fairfield County Jail.
Commissioners, I move items A, B, and C.
Second, any discussion?
Whenever we make appointments to boards, I always like to give a shout out to all of the folks who volunteer their time and talents to all the different boards that we appoint to. Particularly excited about Lori Sanders joining the Visitors Bureau board, and also again ask that we reach out to the Village of Baltimore and give them a heads up. Thank you.
Additional discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Fix?
Yes.
Commissioner Levesey?
Yes.
Resolutions passed 2-0. From the Fairfield County Board of Elections, Resolution 2026-06.16.d, a resolution approving an account-to-account transfer into a major expenditure object category, Fund 1001 General Fund.
So moved.
Second, discussion? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Commissioner Fix?
Yes.
Commissioner Levesey?
Yes.
Resolution passes 2-0. From the Fairfield County Clerk of Courts Title Division, Resolution 2026-06.16.e, a resolution to approve to declare a surplus for the Clerk of Courts Title Fund number 2326 and a fund-to-fund transfer from the Clerk of Courts Title Fund 2326 to the General Fund number 1001.
So moved.
Second, discussion?
I'm happy that we're able to transfer money to the general fund to help replenish the general fund for the money that is being spent on the help center.
We appreciate it, Brandon.
Additional discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Fix?
Yes.
Commissioner Levesey?
Yes.
Resolution passes 2-0. From Fairfield County Economic and Workforce Development, Resolution 2026-06.16.f, a resolution to approve a sub-grant agreement with the Fairfield 33 Development Alliance to provide funds for the pre-apprenticeship training through a grant from the Ohio Department of Development.
So moved.
Second, discussion? Additional discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Fix?
Yes.
Commissioner Levesey?
Yes. Resolution
Resolution passes 2-0. From the Fairfield County Engineer, Resolution 2026-06.16.g, a resolution to approve the notice to commence for the 2026 microsurfacing project.
Fairfield County Engineer, I move items G, H, I, and J.
Second, discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Fix?
Yes.
Commissioner Levesey?
Yes.
Resolutions passed 2-0. From Fairfield County Facilities, Resolution 2026-06.16.k, a resolution to approve change order 001 and 002 to the contract with Spires Paving Company Incorporated and the Fairfield County Commissioners.
So moved.
Second, discussion? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Commissioner Fix?
Yes.
Commissioner Levesey?
Yes.
Resolution passes 2-0. From Fairfield County Family and Children First Council, Resolution 2026-06.16.l, a resolution to request for appropriations for Fund Number 7521, Family and Children First Council.
So moved.
Second, discussion? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Commissioner Fix?
Yes.
Commissioner Levesey?
Yes.
Resolution passes 2-0. From Fairfield County Job and Family Services, Resolution 2026-06.16.m, a resolution regarding an amendment for a previously approved network placement and related services agreement between Journey Home Foster Care and Child Protective Services Department.
Under Fairfield County Job and Family Services, I move items M, N, O, P, Q, R, and S.
Second, discussion? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Commissioner Fix?
Yes.
Commissioner Levesey?
Yes.
Resolutions passed 2-0. From the Fairfield County Law Library, Resolution 2026-06.16.t, a resolution to appropriate from unappropriated in a major expenditure object category for Law Library Fund 2761, Law Library Resources Board.
So moved.
Second, discussion? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Commissioner Fix?
Yes.
Commissioner Levesey? Resolution passes 2-0. From Fairfield County Transit,
Resolution 2026-06.16.u, a resolution to approve additional appropriations by appropriating from unappropriated into a major expense object category 2908 public transit.
Under Fairfield County Transit, I move items U and V.
Second, discussion. Seeing none, roll call please.
Commissioner Fix?
Yes.
Commissioner Levesey?
Yes.
Resolutions passed 2-0. From Fairfield County Utilities, Resolution 2026-06.16.w, a resolution authorizing the purchase of a vac truck.
So moved.
Second, discussion. Roll call please.
Commissioner Fix?
Yes.
Commissioner Levesey?
Yes.
Resolution passes 2-0. From the South Central Major Crimes Unit, Resolution 2026-06.16.x, a resolution to request for appropriations for receipts for 2025 Drug Law Enforcement Grant 7830, 8381.
So moved.
Second, discussion.
Budgeting, reimbursed grant.
Additional discussion. Call please.
Commissioner Fix?
Yes.
Commissioner Levesey?
Yes.
Resolution passes 2-0. For the payment of bills, Resolution 2026-06.16.y, a resolution authorizing the approval of payment of invoices for departments that need Board of Commissioners approval.
Discussion. Seeing none, roll call please.
Commissioner Fix?
Yes.
Commissioner Levesey?
Yes.
Resolution passes 2-0. The next regular meeting is scheduled for June 23rd, 2026 at 9 a.m.
Then any other additional items that come before the Board of Commissioners at this time?
Yeah, I just want to say, I don't know that we've ever had a newly minted intern come into this room and answer a question right off the rip like that. So good on you, Pickerington proud. Nice job.
So much. Thanks,
I was getting her ready to work at the Workforce Center. You never know what's gonna happen.
That's right.
I know Commissioner Fix is in a hurry to get out of here, so we have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second. We are adjourned.
Thanks, Dave.